Crouch on the bump for 80.
Welcome to Special Stage and welcome back to Wales for round 6 of the Ravenel BTRDA Rally Championship. We've got some proper rally weather here in both Wales, and with only 2 rallies to go after this one to decide the title, any championship points or indeed no scores could be very crucial for that story. Let's join the action right now on the stages. On to the stages then, and it will be the early lead for Charlie Payne and Carl Williamson. They were having a few problems though. Charlie, you had a few problems at the end of the stage, I understand?
Yeah, we've got fuel pressure problems. It's just started slowing down, and we pulled it. We got out of the stage, and we don't know what it is, but we've just turned our reserve fuel pump on, so it's fired back up, but it keeps coming back up again. So we've got some service now. Hopefully we'll be able to do something. But if it's a fuel pump, I believe the fuel pump's inside the fuel tank, so we're really going to struggle with it.
Luke Francis and John Roberts wouldn't be without problems themselves. They end the morning with second place, lucky to finish at all after the dipstick came out and sprayed the windscreen with oil. Luke, not the most easy of runs for you just there.
No, we've had a lot of hassle this morning. I was a bit half asleep this morning on the first stage, so we weren't the quickest, but got into the rhythm, and then the dipstick decided to part company with the engine and just covered the windscreen in oil, so we were lucky to get out of that last stage without being able to see anything. So
Did you manage to check the oil though?
No, we haven't checked the oils. We've managed to just clean a bit of the oil off the engine, and that's about it.
Sadly, we'd lose Plains Rally winner Julian Reynolds and Patrick Walsh when they go out on stage 4 with overheating problems in the Focus. A wrong tyre choice would slow Stephen Petch and Michael Wilkinson just slightly, but despite this, they make a good start to the rally with 3rd place for now. Halfway through, Stephen, you happy?
Not really. Wrong tyre choice on the first 2 stages, to be honest. We went on a K. It was a lot wetter up there than we expected, to be honest, so it was a bit slippy. So we've had to stay on Ks the whole time. We're going to service now and change to KMs, so hopefully that'll help. But no problems with the car, just I need to drive faster.
For the fans at home, KM softer?
Just a wider tread pattern, gets rid of all the mud and all the rest of it. So, yeah, gets rid of the slime off the surface.
Paul Ben and Richard Cook make a great start too. They line 4th at this stage, feeling their way into the conditions on the opening stage and allowing for a push over the rest of the morning stages. Andy Davies and Max Freeman, meanwhile, were clearly trying hard, and it was showing. They lead the way in the Group N fight at this stage, but only by the smallest of margins. So that means for Russ Thompson and Andy Murphy, it will be 2nd place for now. The margin was so small that it would all come down to the stage times this afternoon. Frustratingly, so early on in the rally, we lose Steve Simpson and Mark Glenister. They go off the road to get stuck in a ditch. The damage was minimal, but the pair were stuck, unable to get out, so the damage to their result, a bit more than minimal. Problems with the wipers on the first stage of the day will be something Carl Simmons and Darren Garrett didn't need. But they do get the issue fixed for the remaining stages and have a big push, ending the morning with 7th. Richard Hill and Ewan Jones make a change to 4-wheel drive and modern rallying this weekend. And going well too, 8th place overall and lying 3rd in the Group N Challenge. Martin and Dawn England make one of their best starts, happy with the pace and lying in 9th for now, ready for a bit more of a push in the afternoon. And rounding out the top 10 were Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge. They could have been higher up the results, but the pair had spent some time in the undergrowth at the side of the stage. Just outside our top 10 and lying 2nd in the B13 class were Ian Joel and Graham Wood. The car repaired after their crash earlier in the season and looking better than ever, sporting its new red colour scheme. And it would be 2 places back overall for Pete Smith and Alan Walker, out in the Subaru this weekend and enjoying the stages here in Wales. Gavin Edwards and Karen Tomlinson make the best of starts in the Silver Star, a 21-second advantage going into service. They will be finding the stages tricky like everyone else, but we're staying out of trouble. Been a good fight so far?
It has been a good fight. It's very slippery out there. Boyd's got some problems.
Yeah.
So just get it to the finish. I think it's a bit...
the plan halfway through?
Absolutely. It's really, really rough the first time, so I hate to imagine how bad it's going to be the second run through. So hopefully keep the car mechanically sound and bring it home. That's the most important thing today, I think.
Phil Burton and Mal Capstick never stay out of trouble. They would be, though, getting back into things after their crash on the Plains Rally. They reached the midway point with second place for now, leading the B12 class. Phil, going well?
We're doing all right. Considering we haven't been out since Plains, Miss Carlisle. A bit of confidence we needed this morning, but the conditions aren't giving us it. But same for everybody. It is slippy, we are struggling. The stages aren't good. I'll say it on camera, they're as rough as a bear's arse, you know, because they haven't been mended from the Severn Valley. And it's going to get worse this afternoon, so it's just a case of battle of attrition and just keep going.
Problems for Boyd Kershaw and Brian Hull would mean third was about as high as they could go for now. A puncture in the opening stage and the wipers not working were just a few of the issues. All good?
No, we had a puncture in the first stage. Our wipers stopped working before we started, and then we had a puncture, and we bent the steering rack. So yeah, it's been great.
Hey, but at least you've topped up the rally driver excuses. You must have used them all last season.
I can't. We can't think of anything else. So yeah, so it could have been better, but hey, that's rallying apparently. It's all good. It's all good.
Theo Bengry and Les Forsbrook struggle without an intercom on stage one, but they managed to still keep the times in the top of the results on the following stages to end the morning with fourth place. Wipers would be the issue for Gareth Edwards and Dylan Andrew on the opening stage, but they have a good morning to lie fifth going into service. Everything was going well for Jonathan Brace and Tim Samuel. A small overshoot would cost a little time, but nothing too much. They end this morning with sixth place. George Lepley and Arwell Jenkins make a good start in the N3 class, leading the way in the Fiesta Trophy as well, back from his exams, and George still on the pace in the championship. Nev Jones and Chris Davies were having one of their most enjoyable runs out in the Escort, lying in 8th place for now, 3rd in the H3 class. And it would be a good run so far for Simon Tuckman and Sean Hughes. They have a couple of moments, but that was expected in the tricky conditions. Rounding out the top 10 now were Ashley Davies and Sam Fordham. They have a steady start on the opening stage, increasing the pace as the day went on. It wouldn't be the best of starts, though, for Cameron Davies and Lee Taylor. The car cutting out in the opening stage, losing the pair some valuable time. For now, it would be 2nd in the N3 class and 12th on the overall leaderboard. And 3rd in that class was Sam Billam and Graham Wild, leaders of the Fiesta ST Trophy at this point in the season, and of course keen to keep things that way. Bob Vardy and Simon Rogers open up the lead in the B10 class this morning. A good run for the pair sees them in 15th overall. And Andy Turner and Steve Harris end the morning stages with 3rd in the B12 class, lying in 17th overall in that rear-wheel drive Subaru. Dave and Jamie Forrest will be the only ones in the H2 class. They have a good start to the event to lie 21st overall. And this weekend, it will be a hire car for Ed Fossey and Tom Hutchings. They lie 2nd in the B10 class going into service. After an up and down season, it will be a welcomed lead in the 1400s at this stage in the event for Chris Powell and Jim Lewis, enjoying the stages and with no problems to report for once.
Trying to put those gremlins behind you, aren't you?
Yeah, we made lunch again. Yeah, second rally in 6, so we're really happy. Really
clawing your way through.
Yeah. It's really good fun today. Really enjoying the stages. Yeah, slippery, but that's why I like it.
For our winners last time out, Jordan and Paul Hone, it will be 2nd place. Struggling a little in the morning, the conditions not what they had encountered on this event before. Something we'd heard a few times during the morning.
Jordan, how's it gone? You've got mud on your race suit and you look a little bit exasperated.
Yeah, I was struggling this morning. Just road conditions is just not the same as it was last year, you know. But no, we're enjoying it. The stages are fantastic as always down in Wales. It's just sweating one day as Wales normally is, but keep going now. I have to think about the championship at this stage, late stage of the year, so we need to keep it going. That's it.
No problems for Wayne and Hugh Lewis. They were finding the first of the stages tricky, but getting into things as the day went on, lying in 3rd now.
How's this morning gone?
Yeah, it's quite well really. It's slippy in there. It is in a few stages, but The last two are confidence builders because there's a bit more grip in them. So.
Neil Andrew and Dom Adams were getting up to speed in the car now. 4th place at this stage and leading the way in the 1400 C class. And for Carl Davies and Richard Jones, it will be 2nd in that class. They were having a few issues, but will be looking at sorting them in service now. Sadly, we lose James Williams and Paul Wakely in the early stages of the day. They go out with a gearbox problem on stage 2. There will be a good battle developing in Rally First this weekend, with Richard Wells and Calvin Holdsworth coming into service with the lead in that class at this stage.
Yeah, it's gone really well this morning. It was Christian this morning was wicked. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and second stage was a bit rough, but I think we did all right. A few mistakes, but I think we're holding it together.
And you're in the fight, more importantly.
Yeah, which is good. You know, we've just got to keep it together for this afternoon, and I think we'll be all right, yeah.
More of the same, good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Dominic Hodge and Stefan Arndt wouldn't feel quite as much on the pace as they'd wanted. Only 13 seconds back from the lead though, and leading the 1.4 class.
All happy in here, Dominic?
Very good indeed, thank you. Not quite as quick as I would have liked. I've been beaten today. Emily took a couple out and also Richard directly behind me, but we've got to try harder this afternoon.
Things would be close though. Emily and Elliot Ritalik 2nd in that class and 3rd on our overall leaderboard, just 2 seconds back from Hodge at the midway point.
There's a fight on for Rally First. You're right in there.
I think so. I don't know what happened on stage 4 though with stage maximums when it was cancelled. I don't know where Mr. Hodge is lying at the minute, but wait and see. Yeah, it's a good day.
You're certainly not leading, I don't think, at the minute. The three of you are sort of fighting quite hard in there, so the afternoon means more fighting.
Does indeed, yeah. Bring it on. Be good fun.
And there will be a bit more of a gap to the 1 litre class leaders as David Ginn and Ryan Jones round out the category overall in 11th. So at the midway point, we are starting to see those fights develop, and plenty of problems as well for our championship hopefuls to deal with before the afternoon stages. On to the afternoon stages, and there will be no change in Rally First 1 litre. David Ginn and Ryan Jones finishing the rally with that class win. There would be change at the top, however. Tom Williams and Emma Morrison stepping up to take the final step on the podium with 3rd place at the end of the rally. Sadly, the battle would lose Dominic Hodge and Stefan Arndt when they go off the road and out of the rally in stage 6. This, of course, though, means that 2nd place was secure for Emily and Elliot Ritalik. They'd taken that place prior to Hodge going off, but his retirement meant the pressure was off a little from behind. But taking the win this weekend were Richard Wells and Calvin Holdsworth. A good lead throughout the day would mean victory here at round 6. On to the 1400s, and things would remain much the same as we left them this morning. Carl Davies and Richard Jones ending the rally with 5th place. They would end the event though 2nd in class behind this pair, Neil Andrew and Dom Adams, who take the class win this time out and 4th overall to boot. Wayne and Hugh Lewis have a good run and record one of their best results with 3rd place here in Wales. Proton pairing Jordan and Paul Hone unfortunately don't get the victory they were looking for once again, but 2nd place would still be good for the championship tally this weekend. But the weekend and the victory would go to Chris Powell and Jim Lewis in the Sunbeam. It wasn't without its problems and its dramas. Alternator issues would mean some worry about getting through the rest of the event and to the podium, but they do of course make it to the finish and take that win. So before we chat to our 1400 winners, here's a reminder of the final Rally First and 1400 overall results.
Chris, Jim, I understand you did most of the day without an alternator pretty much, so to even be here at the finish is remarkable, let alone the result.
Yes, unbelievable. The alternator failed on the start line of stage 5, and since then we've been using the auxiliary service to charge it up with the auxiliary car, and I can't believe we didn't think we were going to get here, to be honest. We were sweating on the way in, weren't we? So, brilliant.
Jim, not the smoothest of years so far, with sort of a few ups and downs, but here you are back on top.
No, it makes a change to have a nice, clean, easy rally, apart from the alternator. But no, it was nice to go out and have a bit of a push and take some good times in today. So, really happy.
Thankfully, you weren't actually pushing.
No.
Well done, guys. Good result.
Yeah, really happy. Yeah, cheers.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
On to the Silver Star then, and there will be no change to the B12 class. Andy Turner and Steve Harris continue to round out the top 3 in that class to the finish. Dave and Jamie Forrest are of course the only ones in the H2 class. More importantly, they make it to the finish with no problems, taking 18th overall. No change for Sam Billam and Graham Wild in the N3 class. They take 3rd place there. The result still means that Sam retains the lead in the Fiesta ST Championship as well, going into the final 2 rounds. No change for Ashley Davies and Sam Fordham. They continue to round out the top 10 on the rally, as well as taking 2nd in the B12 class. And it's a good run for Nev Jones and Chris Davies this weekend. They take 9th place. A good finish for the pair in the Escort here in Wales. Unfortunately, a puncture in the final stages would mean a slip to 2nd place in the N3 class. George Lepley and R1 Jenkins understandably disappointed. The times were there, and the pair showed they have what it takes to lead the way in their class. That did mean the N3 and Fiesta class win for Cameron Davies and Lee Taylor. It didn't put them in the lead of the series just yet, but they were on their way to doing that if they could keep the results coming as they had been. Jonathan Brace and Tim Samuel bring the Escort home to take 2nd in the H3 class. A good result for the Escort pair that sees them taking 6th on the leaderboard too. And Gareth Edwards and Dylan Andrew have a good run as well. A bit of a moment in one of the afternoon stages will provide them a bit of a scare, but they get through okay, taking 5th place overall. They would be beaten though to 4th place by this man, Theo Bangry, with Les Forsbrook alongside, taking the position with 0.3 of a second advantage over Edwards. Bangry also takes the H3 class win today. Frustratingly for Phil Burton and Mal Capstick, a puncture in the afternoon stages would see them lose some time and have to settle for 3rd place. Still a good finish, but disappointing to lose out on that 2nd place so late on in the rally. A place, though, which was now being occupied by Boyd Kershaw and Brian Hull. It's fair to say they didn't have a great run this weekend with their problems, but the result would be a very welcomed one for the pair. But that does mean the victory would belong to Gavin Edwards and Karen Tomlinson. They'd led from the start, taking a well-deserved win at the end of a tricky day on the Welsh stages. So before we chat to our Silver Star winners, here's a reminder of the final results.
Gavin, Caron, what a fantastic day that has been for the Silver Star. 1st place amidst such big competition here in Wales and with such attrition.
Yeah, it was a really good day. A few problems, but I think we've all had some problems during the day. So thankfully, I've had less problems than everybody else. So really happy today. This is what we came this weekend to do, and then onwards and upwards to the next event, and then see if we can bring it home by the end of the year.
Karen, there must have been times when you actually started tripping over you there. I wasn't going to give you a kiss. There must have been times when you thought that Paul Woodford would give you a kiss at the finish, and times that you thought that he wouldn't even get here to the finish, let alone come here first.
No, we've had some close calls on some corners today, but it's been so rough and slippery. But I don't know. I'm just glad that we finished it. And
on a day like today, the teamwork in the car is important, isn't it?
Yeah, he doesn't listen anyway, you know.
It's more important than the bar later. Yeah.
Right, well, you can enjoy that, and you deserve it today. That's a great performance. Well done.
Thanks so much.
Cheers, thank you. Cheers.
On to the Gold Star then, and there will be no change to the B13 class as Pete Smith and Alan Walker round out the podium places. There's change though to the top 10 as we lose a few crews, meaning that it's Daniel Moss and Sam Allen rounding out the top 10 at the finish of the rally. Brian Bell and Jamie Edwards record a good finish to take 9th place at the end of round 6 after an enjoyable day on these classic Welsh stages. The newly rebuilt car worked well for Ian Joel and Graham Wood. They reached the end of the rally with 2nd in the B13 class and 8th on the overall leaderboard. Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge have a good finish, despite their trip into the scenery on the morning stages. They end the rally 7th, taking 3rd in the N4 class. And Martin and Dawn England record one of their best results in the championship. 6th place, clearly getting to grips with the new car now. The times and the car looking good on the stages. Sadly for the battle, we'd lose Andy Davies and Max Freeman from the Group N lead in Stage 6 when they retire with a broken ball joint on the Subaru. This meant change, of course, in the class results, and it will be Richard Hill and Ewan Jones that step up to take 2nd place in the class on their first outing in the Evo. They'd finished 27 seconds behind eventual winners, Russ Thompson and Andy Murphy. The battle at the top had been close all day and could have gone either way, but for this weekend it would be Thompson topping the class results. Paul Ben and Richard Cook finish off a good run with the final step on the podium overall. A good finish for the pair, whose season really started off as a bit of fun and was now turning into a serious chance of a championship result. Stephen Petch and Michael Wilkinson finally seem to be having some luck on their side and getting to grips with the Fiesta R5 as well. A good result once again in the championship as they take 2nd place. The victory could only be a matter of time, you have to say. Again, sadly for the fight, we do lose Charlie Payne and Carl Williamson. Earlier problems turned out to be more than they thought, the pair retiring on Stage 6. But that does mean victory for Luke Francis and John Roberts. They had a few moments of their own, including slicing part of their wing clean off in the shrubbery when they had an excursion on the final stages of the event. So before we chat to our winners, here's a reminder of the final overall results.
Luke, John, that is a result and a half because it's been a tough day.
Yeah, we've had a few ups and downs this morning, but this afternoon we came out and carried on with some good stage time. So yeah, really pleased with where we finished.
John, at this point of the season, it's all about points on the table. And speaking to Luke earlier, he just wanted to get some points, so to be on top.
Yeah, the last 2 stages, once we knew Charlie had a problem, it was like back right off, make sure we got here and nothing stupid and take the jump on Route 60 nice and carefully, and that was easy and that was done, so that's what we did. It was really good.
And I've got to mention that your moment later on the rally on that side, because you've actually cut clean through the aluminium wing. It's amazing that you managed to come out and actually finish the rally, let alone be here in first place.
Yeah, we had. I couldn't quite understand why there's so many spectators on this one corner, and then we came over the crest and we ended up in the ditch. But yeah, there must have been a branch and they cut straight through the wing. So yeah, it was good that we came out, and it wasn't too much damage.
All the best champions have done some big ditch hucking. Hopefully you'll be one of those at the end of this season. We'll see. Well done, guys. That's a good result.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Well, with just 2 rounds to go in the Ravenel BTRDA Rally Championship, the title goes down to either Ludlow or Yorkshire. But for now, the story continues here at the Nicky Grist stages. That is one heck of a podium after one really tough day of rallying here in Wales. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching Special Stage.
Two left clutch on the bump for 80.